Well, good evening, this is Hound Dog Steve coming to you on the 21st of May, which is a Monday evening. And there was just so many little stories in the news, I had to make a second video. So here we go. I love this. Ground-based hazards, a threat. Now, I don't know if you can see here, this is the Kilauea in Hawaii, and this is the volcano in the background. And here is some golfer totally oblivious to the rocks, dust and lava that are spewing from this massive volcano. Well, good for you, buddy. Please put that in the background, get your golf ball out, get your clubs out, and play on through. Next story. I thought this was kind of funny too. This is a porn star on Stormy Daniels' set. Stormy Daniels was directing. Stormy Daniels ignored sex harassment co-star. So this is a story about Tasha Rain, whose real name is Rachel Swimmer, and she claims she was sexually assaulted by a crew member on the setup which was being directed by Daniels for Wicked Pictures. And I was sexually assaulted by one of the crew members. He groped and grabbed me from behind, Rain said. I spoke up immediately because I was so in the moment and I was so proud of myself. Rain, the star of such sex-rated fare as Big Breast Nurses, 7, Bra, Panties, Scissors and Going Black on Holidays. And I'm sure that she may have a point, that she was groped and sexually assaulted, and she says that and even when she went to Stormy Daniels she ignored her complaints. But it just seems all too bizarre that you are on a porn set making a movie where basically, to put not too fine a point on it, you're being poked and stroked and groped, that you would complain about it when it's off the set. I don't know, is it just me? Am I the only person who thinks that that is just a little strange? Oh well, moving on. Twitter CEO touts cryptocurrency as the way of the future. In his role at Square, Jack Dorsey has helped promote cryptocurrency. In 2014, the payments company started letting merchants accept Bitcoin. So Jack Dorsey, speaking to a crowd of cryptocurrency enthusiasts, showed he was completely in sync with their view that digital currencies are the way of the future. The internet deserves a native currency. It will have a native currency. Mr. Dorsey, the chief executive officer of Twitter Inc. and Square Inc., said on Wednesday at Consensus, a blockchain and cryptocurrency conference in New York. I don't know if it'll be Bitcoin or not, he said, but I hope it will be. This wasn't the first time Mr. Dorsey has spoken fondly of digital currencies. The executive tweeted in 2016 that he would love to see a digital currency thrive. There you go. More support for digital currencies. US Senate votes to retain open internet rules. That means that net neutrality is still in place, and thank goodness for that. If we lose net neutrality, these huge corporations like Bell will take over the internet, and you will start getting bundled services, and they will start cutting out competitors because they will have the power to do that if net neutrality disappears. So we have voted to keep net neutrality in Canada, thank goodness as well, but it was looking like it was going to disappear, and thankfully a few Democrats jumped over to the other side and got this bill passed in 52 to 47. That is a pretty close vote. And I've left probably the most important story to last, and this is a water story. And a study finds rapid changes in Earth's water supply. Okay, so we have been abusing our water supply for an awful long time, and we have been basically using it as some place to dump all of our refuse, our waste, our sewerage, everything you can think of has gone into our water systems. And now that our clean water is drying up, we are going to be left with toxic surface water because we have fouled our own nest. I think one of the first countries to go will be China. China has a hideous water pollution problem. And I think you're going to see sooner rather than later that there are going to be water wars around the world. South Africa is already talking about a plan to float a iceberg down to the South African coastline and to mine it for water. And I seem to recall a similar plan that was floated, if you'll excuse the pun, with Saudi Arabia doing the same thing, to take one of these huge icebergs that just melts away into the ocean and use it as a source of clean, fresh water. So this shows you how desperate we are getting around the world, and we just seem to take water for granted. And we foul our nest at our peril. We have to live in this nest, we have to drink this water, and you know, I often wonder about our own system here, the Trent 7 water system, because the Trent 7, they want to maintain lock-through, so they're concerned only with depth of water. However, the municipality wants to pour its partially treated sewage into these lakes and use the lakes as basically a sewage disposal system, taking it all down to Lake Ontario. Well, let me tell you, in summers when it is really hot and dry and we're short of water, the Trent 7 system will shut down these dams and stop the flow of water to maintain lock-through at the locks. And so that means you turned your lake into a settling pond for the sewage treatment facility of Fenland Falls in our case, because they still pump 160,000 litres of effluent into the lake every day, and it needs that lake water to be flowing through the system to mix that sewage in, to dilute it as much as possible and carry it away to Lake Ontario. So this is a huge issue, and we had better learn to treat our water as if it were gold. Okay, so on that sobering note, I hope you have enjoyed this little presentation, and if you have, please like and subscribe below. Click that big red button, it really helps when you do, and we will be back very shortly with more videos on the news around Ontario, Canada, America and the world. So you take care, you have a great week, looks like a wonderful week weather-wise coming up, and I hope you enjoy, get your gardening in, and we will talk to you very soon. It's Hound Dog Steve signing off. See you now. Bye.